Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into one of the most buzzed about games in recent years, Black Myth: Wukong. This action RPG, based on the legendary Chinese novel Journey to the West, has taken the gaming world by storm with its breathtaking graphics, intense combat and deep connection to Chinese mythology. But like anything that gains this level of popularity, it's not without controversy. Specifically, we're talking about how Black Myth: Wukong has been received in Western media, particularly regarding discussions about diversity, inclusivity, and its position in the so-called woke culture wars. So let's get into it. First off, for those who might not be familiar, Black Myth: Wukong is developed by Game Science, a Chinese indie studio. The game showcases the story of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, a legendary figure in Chinese folklore, known for his superhuman strength, magical abilities, and rebellious spirit. It's all wrapped up in a gorgeous Unreal Engine 5 powered world filled with mythical beasts, challenging enemies, and beautifully crafted environments that bring ancient Chinese culture to life. From the first gameplay trailers, it was clear that this wasn't just another hack and slash game. The level of detailed, fluid combat mechanics and sheer creativity made it stand out. The internet went wild. People couldn't stop talking about how this game looked like a true next generation experience. But with that praise also came a slew of critiques, particularly from some corners of Western media. Among the primary criticisms were claims that the game lacks diversity and inclusivity, at least by Western standards. This criticism largely centers on the fact that the game is set in a purely Chinese mythological world with an all-Chinese cast of characters and cultural references. Some Western commentators labeled it as lacking representation of other cultures, genders, and ethnic groups, questioning why a game that's gaining such global popularity doesn't reflect a more diverse world. This kind of criticism is often tied to broader debates about wokeism in media, where the expectation is that games, movies, and shows should reflect a diverse and inclusive cast of characters to meet modern sensibilities. However, these critiques seem to miss the point of Black Myth: Wukong. The game is a product of Chinese culture, made by Chinese developers, and deeply rooted in one of the most beloved Chinese stories of all time. It's not a game that's trying to cater to globalized one-size-fits-all approach to representation. Rather, it's celebrating a specific cultural narrative with authenticity and pride. This brings us to the broader debate about wokeism. For those unfamiliar, wokeism refers to the awareness and advocacy for social justice issues, often emphasizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. While these ideals are important, their application in media can sometimes feel forced or tokenistic, especially when cultural authenticity is sacrificed to meet perceived quotas. Black Myth: Wukong is refreshingly unconcerned with ticking these boxes. It's not trying to be a politically correct crowd pleaser. It's unapologetically true to its source material. And that's precisely why it resonated so deeply well with gamers around the world. It's not trying to fit into Western mold of what's acceptable or correct. Instead, it's delivering an experience that feels genuine and unique, and that's a breath of fresh air in a landscape where many games are increasingly designed by committee to avoid offending anyone. The game's popularity shows that there's a huge audience hungry for something different, something that isn't sanitized or watered down to meet a global woke standard. It appeals to universal love for compelling stories, stunning art, and challenging gameplay. It's a reminder that games don't have to be everything to everyone. They can be specific, rooted in a particular culture, and still resonate on a global scale. So why has Black Myth: Wukong become so popular, even without conforming to Western ideals of inclusivity? Simply put, it's equality. From what we've seen so far, the game stands out because it's a labor of love, meticulously crafted by a passionate team that's dedicated to bringing an iconic piece of Chinese culture to the world stage. It doesn't need to add a diverse set of characters from other cultures because it's a game about China, made by Chinese developers, for anyone who wants to experience it. Moreover, the game taps into something that transcends these debates, the universal appeal of a well-told story. Whether you're familiar with Journey to the West or not, the narrative of a rebellious hero, the struggle against formidable foes, and the triumph of wit and strength over adversity are themes that resonate with everyone. In the end, Black Myth: Wukong teaches us a valuable lesson. Not every piece of media has to conform to the same cultural or social expectations. There is room for games to be specific and authentic to their origins, and that authenticity is what makes them special. is proof that cultural specificity doesn't limit the game's appeal. In fact, it can enhance it. So let's celebrate Black Myth Wukong for what it is. A visually stunning, richly detailed dive into Chinese mythology that stands on its own merits. It's not trying to be something it's not, and in a world where so much media feels engineered to fit a specific agenda, that honestly is what makes it so exciting. Thanks for tuning in today. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Black Myth Wukong. Are you excited for its release? How do you feel about the conversation surrounding diversity and wokeism in gaming? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out any future content. Until then, keep gaming. Bye bye.